learn to read and write first. It may seem, some people say reading and writing Thai is so difficult. It isn't. There's not that many characters. There's vowels and consonants, just like there is in English.
Yeah, this the Fraser Hot Yai channel. An expat sipping yadong, chilling with the local Thais, getting our style on. I interview expats and locals with the dope vibes. If you're digging the vids, then click subscribe. Yeah, this the Fraser Hot Yai channel.
Hey guys, Fraser Hat Yai here, and welcome to the Fraser Hat Yai show. My wife's just looking at me. Why are you sitting in the sun? You're gonna get burned. It's true, I'm gonna get burned. So let's make this video short, about 5 minutes. I thought I'm in a pretty beautiful backdrop place here, so I thought I'd make a little video. I'm gonna talk about a question that somebody posted on one of the videos. Do you need to speak Thai to live in Thailand? Not to travel, to live permanently in Thailand. Do you need to speak Thai? So short answer, no. Long answer, it's better if you do. So firstly, do I speak Thai? ผมพูดภาษาไทยได้แต่ไม่ค่อยดีเท่าไหร่ครับ. That means I speak Thai a little bit, but not really that well, which kind of explains my level. I'm not fluent in Thai, but I can say pretty much everything that I want. Sometimes I don't say it correctly, my grammar is wrong, but I can have a conversation in Thai. I've been here 8 years, and I think after the first 2 years, I got to 2 or 3 years here, I got to a certain level at Thai, and then I kind of plateaued from there. The reason being, I just didn't use my Thai that often for a while. With my work, when I'm working at my office, I'm dealing with speaking English all the time. Is that windy? Is that annoying? Let me wait for the wind to go and I'll continue. Yeah, so at home with my wife, we speak kind of a mix of Thai and English together, and a mix of Southern Thai dialect as well. I speak a lot of Leng Thai, which is Southern Thai. So let me give you an example. In Thai language, if you want to ask somebody, have you eaten yet? You would say, Kin khao, Kin khao liang, Kin khao liang. But in Southern Thai, you would say, Kin khao leo mai, Kin khao leo mai. So it's different. Southern Thai, they seem to shorten everything. So I'm sure you know the word for delicious in Thai, aroi, aroi. In Southern Thai, they cut out the first bit and they just say loi, loi, loi mai, loi mai. Is it yummy? Loi mai? Okay. So Southern Thai is kind of shortened, and all the tones are all mixed up. A lot of falling tones and a lot of different tones. So yeah, that's my story with Thai. I don't feel like I've got much better. I probably have, but I don't feel like I don't speak Thai as well as I should. I've got a lot of friends who speak Thai really, really well, and I'm super jealous. And I know the reason why I've not got to that level, and it's just because I don't speak Thai enough on a daily basis. I sometimes go whole days without speaking Thai, which you can do here in Thailand. You can live in Thailand without speaking Thai, and sometimes there's benefits to speaking English. For example, when you're outside of tourist locations, when you're living in a city like Hat Yai, which isn't very touristy, and a police motorbike pulls you over or something, or you go to a checkpoint, most likely they don't speak any English. So what I've done, and it's worked in the past, they pull over, go, hey officer, how are you doing today? I've just been driving along the way. I live here in Thailand, but there's not much going on right now, and I was just wondering why you're pulling me over. Is everything okay? And 9 times out of 10 they go, oh, they look for someone there. Oh, okay, bye, okay, go. Trust me, it works. Now this wouldn't work in Phuket or Pattaya because they're used to tourists and they know how to get money from tourists and stuff, so it's different. But in rural Thailand, I'm gonna burn sitting here, so I'm gonna have to wrap this video up soon. It's gonna be a short one. In rural Thailand, yeah, that works. So there's benefits to pretending you don't speak any Thai sometimes. It can also be fun when you sat in restaurants or you in bars and you pretend you don't speak any Thai and you listen to what people say around you, which is funny sometimes. Most of the time Thais won't speak about people, even if they know you can't understand. Most of the time they won't, but it sometimes does happen, and it can be fun to surprise them that you do speak Thai later on. So to answer my question, I've rambled on a bit there. I'm in this beautiful part of Thailand, southern Thailand. We have a big canyon behind me, and some swan boats if you want to rent them and drive around. Fun place to be. So the question was, do you need to speak Thai to live in Thailand? No, you can get about without Thai. You can do most things with Thai. If you can make some Thai friends, it can be helpful as well. You don't really need to speak Thai language, but I think you should learn, and it's very, very useful, and it does have advantages if you learn Thai. If you don't learn Thai, you're never going to make real Thai friends. You're never going to be able to hang out with Thais. You're never going to be able to, like, your only Thai friends are going to be the Thais who are in love with English language or want to speak English and want to meet foreigners, which they're rare. You're not going to be able to make local Thai friends unless you speak Thai. And if you're going to live in Thailand, you want to have local Thai friends, right? Makes sense. So to wrap up this video, do you need to speak Thai? No. Should you, if you're going to live here? Yes. You don't need to learn beforehand. Come here, expose yourself to the language. So what are my tips for learning Thai? Learn to read and write first. It may seem, some people say reading and writing Thai is so difficult. It isn't. There's not that many characters. There's vowels and consonants, just like there is in English. Although sometimes the vowel can be under, before, after, above, or all around the consonant. But once you recognize these are vowels and these are consonants, you see the vowel, then you see the consonant around it, and you can read it. And once you start reading more and more Thai, practicing every day, reading everyday signs around you, your Thai will improve quickly, and eventually your brain starts to recognize whole words and not. It's same with English. When you read an English word, you recognize the shape and the whole word, and your brain recognizes it as a whole word, and you read it instantly. The same happens with Thai or any other language writing system that you learn eventually after repetition and practice, which you can do in everyday life, just reading road signs, menus, trying your best to read the Thai menus and stuff like that. Another benefit of learning Thai is to read and write is the Thai menus are often different things. There are secret things on the Thai menus that aren't on the English menus because they think Falang wouldn't like it, but they're often wrong. And sometimes we like to try the stuff that the Thais eat, so the Thai menu is often different, and you'll find some interesting recipes and things to try that you've never tried before, and you won't just be eating green curry, yellow curry, red curry, other colored curries, and things like that. Yeah. So I forgot, I was talking about something else. I was on a train of thought and then I skipped to reading. Oh yeah. So tips for learning Thai. First, learn to read and write first. Secondly, I don't think there's point taking lessons and things like that. The most Thai I learned was when I was just in Isan. I'd first moved to Thailand. I'd gone for a teaching job in the northeast of Thailand, Isan, and I'd finish work, and then I'd go to this car modification shop where all these Thais would hang out and drink beer, and they'd always invite me over, and I'd go in. None of them spoke English, so I had to speak Thai. And every night I'd knock back beers, talk in Thai and joke, and I'd pick up words. I'd note down new words that I didn't know. I'd go home and that's the advantage of learning to spell Thai, because when you learn, when you hear a new word, you can see, you can ask them in Thai, how do you spell? Okay, they may say a new word like ทำงาน like ทำงานแปลว่าอะไรเขียนได้ไหม and then they'll write it for you. Okay, ทอทหาร and you draw ทอทหาร and all the vowels ทำงาน งองู okay, so learning to read Thai, learning the letters and be able to write. You can write down new words, you can go home and review them. Now if you were going to write it down in English, like TUMNGAHN, ทำงาน, which means to work, by the way, then you know, you're going to come back and read it later. You show it to the Thai, they might not know what it is. What is a tumngan? Depending on your accent, you read it differently. American would read tumngan, and maybe a British person would read like tumngan. Like writing Thai words in English doesn't work. Writing English words in Thai doesn't work too, which is a mistake a lot of Thai learners make when they learn English. They transliterate all the words into Thai language, and they write like eat. They're like an sala e dor dek eat. So the an sala e dor dek eat is, or maybe you could have an sala e tor tao eat, but it's different because there's no n sounds in Thai. Eat. In Thai it would be eat, because you don't have ending consonants where you release. In English you have consonants that you release air at the end of a word, like eat. There's no t at the end of words in Thai. It's kind of like you start the word, you start the consonant t, but then you don't finish it. It's like eat. It's like you start it, or so that's another issue. That's why you have to learn and read and write first. The second way is don't go to language schools and things like that. You can for a bit, but in the long term you're not going to learn that way. You're going to learn by hanging out with Thai friends, knocking back beers and chatting and joking. And I'm sure the other foreigners that do speak Thai will agree with me on this. Yeah, so that's the end of the video. I'm going to end it up here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys. I'm gonna enjoy coffee in the canyon now.
What my God, try.
กินปลาร้ามากๆ
มาจากไหน
เนี่ยเผือกนี่